So guys, you're not gonna believe this. Sony dropped the ball again with the PS5. I can't believe that with Xbox and their Xbox 360, their Xbox One, the Xbox Series X, all of them have been able to have dual audio output, but Sony has not done that yet with their system. This has been a problem since the PS3 days to the PS4 days, and I was really upset, as well as a lot of streamers, that they never added this to the PS4, and we thought that we're gonna get this on the PS5, but it so turns out it is not on the PS5. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I am referring to the fact that you cannot have audio coming out from your display, whether it be a monitor or a TV, and your headphones at the same time. Now you may ask, why is that even necessary? Well, there is a lot of use cases, especially for streamers. Let's say you're trying to stream to thousands and millions of viewers. Well, the way you do that is by having a capture card in between your console, in this case the PS5, and your display, which, yeah, it could be either a monitor or a TV. The only way that capture card can pick up audio is that on the PS5 you have to have it set to output audio to the TV or the display. You get my point. Now the problem with this is that if you have audio going to your display, you don't have audio going to your headphones. So if I wanted to stream to my viewers, they could hear the audio, but I can't hear the audio because the audio is no longer going to the headphones. And vice versa, if I change the audio to output to the headphones, then the audio is not going to be outputting to the display. Thus, nobody on your stream is going to be able to hear anything that's going on. Only you are able to do so. So there's a couple solutions I wanted to get into today in order to bypass this issue that we've been having since the PS4 and the PS3 days. Hopefully Sony does come out with a update sometime in the future. Do I expect that to come out? Probably not, because if they didn't update the PS4 to have this option, I don't see this happening with the PS5. So for now, we're gonna go through some solutions that you could utilize in order to have a nice running stream while at the same time being able to hear what's going on. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So I'm gonna start off going from the cheapest method all the way to the methods which are gonna cost some money. So starting off, what you can do is just stream directly from the PS5. I know a lot of people don't like this option because you lack a lot of customization options that you would typically get when you stream from a standalone streaming PC. But if you want to bypass all these issues, if you stream directly from the console, whether it be to Twitch or YouTube, then your stream is going to be able to hear all the audio, and you are able to hear all the audio as well. And whenever somebody writes something in the chat, you're gonna be able to see it. So it's sort of a nice all-in-one solution that the PS5 and even the PS4 offered in order to have a nice flowing streams, especially for beginner users. Now, like I said, the big downside of this is that you do not have any customization. So if you're looking to have custom alerts or move your webcam from like this side to the other side, or have that nice crispy custom stream, well, don't expect to be able to do this if you stream directly to the PS5. Option number 2. Now, like I said earlier, the way these streams work is that the console is sending out a signal to the capture card, and the capture card is then sending it to your display. So the only way your viewers are going to be able to hear audio is if the audio is going to your display. Well, let's say you just don't use headphones. That's a simple solution, doesn't cost you any money, and it solves all the issues. So with this solution, yeah, you won't be able to use your headphones, but you can use your headphones to talk to your teammates. So you could actually utilize the microphone that's on your headphones in order to talk to your, like, let's say party chat, but you don't have any sound going to the actual like ear cuffs on the headphones. So although this does solve like the whole issue. Like your stream is going to be able to hear sound, and assuming that you have a good TV or a monitor that outputs decent sound, well, you could just get away with just getting the audio to just output to the TV and not having to worry about anything else. Now, the big downside, as I have just stated, is that you cannot utilize your headphones. So don't expect to get any 3D audio or really any like surround sound audio at all. So this might be an option for maybe somebody that wants to go into the streaming PC setup but just doesn't want to spend all the extra money or go through all the hassle of doing so. This is another option, but yeah, it definitely does have its downsides. So when I was recording this, I actually missed an option between 2 and 3, so we're gonna call this 2.5. So option 2.5, what you can do is plug your headphones directly into your display. This also solves the issue because your audio is going to your display, so your stream is able to hear everything. And since you're able to plug in your headphones to your display, then you're able to hear what's going on. And this is another great option if you want to save some money, which I sort of recommend, but not really, because the big drawback to doing something like this is that your audio takes a big hit. The audio I'm talking about is the audio going to your headphones. So if you're playing something that's competitive like Call of Duty or I don't know, like any FPS game really, then yeah, I would not recommend doing this because your audio that's coming from your monitor to your headphones is gonna come out flat. You're not gonna get any type of surround sound with that, and it's not gonna be a pleasant experience. But regardless, it is another option in case you're trying to look for another cheaper alternative to this whole issue. And this is assuming that your monitor uses a 3.5mm jack, as well as your headphones use a 3.5mm jack as well. Option number 3. If you are using a Elgato HD60S or HD60S Plus, I think that's a new one. Yeah, if you're using one of those, then what you could do is buy a Elgato chat link cable and plug this into the 3.5mm jack on the Elgato capture card, and that way you could send a signal from there to your headphones. Now, what this allows you to do is have your audio go to your stream so they're able to hear everything, and you're able to send a separate signal to your headphones. That way you could also hear the audio in your headphones. Now, there are two big issues with this. One is that you're gonna have a little mess of cables on your setup, which could get quite annoying, especially if you're just used to having like one single cable on your setup. Then yeah, but it is a cheap setup. I mean, these things, they go for quite cheap on Amazon. So if you wanted to just bypass all these problems and just get a chat link cable in conjunction with your Elgato capture card, this definitely does solve the issue. Another issue with this is that these chat link cables are super fragile, and seriously, these things have terrible reviews, and I have had friends who buy these things and they have to go through like 5 in order to find one that works. So reliability on these chat link cables is definitely trash. Sorry Elgato, but I'm serious, yeah, these things are not too well. I hope that they do go about fixing this issue and actually like putting more rubber in these cables, or like at least like upping the quality, man. But as of now, these cables are quite cheap, thus you might run into some issues where it works sometimes and then it doesn't work the other half of the times. Option number 4, which happens to be my favorite option and the option I currently use today, which is buying a Astro mix amp. Now, I know the Astro mix amp is not quite cheap at all, but it really is one of the best solutions for this issue. The Astro mix amp allows you to split the audio using the optical cable that it provides. So you just plug in the optical cable from your Astro mix amp to the console. And the Astro mix amp, not only is it sending out an audio signal to your headphones, but it also allows you to have the 3D audio on it. So you're basically getting not only a regular audio signal, but a better audio signal, if that makes sense. Not only that, but it also provides different presets that you could set on the computer. That way you could have a customized experience with your headphones. Also, another plus about the Astro mix amp is that you do not need to use the Astro A40s in order to get this to work. As long as whatever headphones you use a 3.5mm jack, it will work with the Astro Mix Amp. So for example, here I have the HyperX Cloud 2 headphones. If I wanted to use that instead of the Astro 840s, I could just use that and plug it right into the Astro Mix Amp and it will work perfectly. Oh my god, and I almost forgot, yeah, there's also another plus to these things. It's just all these pluses, they just keep coming, man. So when you use the Astro Mix Amp, it allows for dual audio input. So not only are you able to hear the sound coming from the PS5, but you could also hear the sound coming from your PC. So let's say that you are streaming and an alert pops up, you know, you have a new follower. Well, whenever you hear that new follower, you could also hear that on your headphones. So yeah, it's like perfect, really. It's perfect for streamers because if you're playing a game on your PS5, you might not be looking at your stream at the time, so you might not know when an alert pops up. But fortunately with this Astro Mix Amp, you have dual audio input, so you're able to hear both your audio from your console and the audio coming from your PC. So it's really a great thing to use to put everything together. Now, one of the main drawbacks about the Astro Mix Amp is that one, it's not cheap. I mean, these things retail for more than $100, so unless you're able to get a used one, you're gonna be spending quite a bit of money on these things. And they do have two versions, which I know they have a newer version, which is newer than the one I currently have, but really they do basically the same thing. It's just like the cable inputs are on different locations. So yeah, you really don't have to buy the newer one if you don't want to. If you want to save a bit of money, you could just go with the older model that I even currently have right now. Another main issue with the Astro Mix Amp is, in case you don't know, there is no optical output on the PS5. There was an optical output on the PS4, but with the new system, they removed it. Now, why did they remove it? I have no idea. They're just trying to find another way to stab my heart. But fortunately, Astro did come out with an adapter that you could buy, which splits the audio that's coming from your display to the adapter to an optical port as well as an HDMI port. And yeah, that's a mouthful, but yeah, it splits up the audio. That way you could then use a optical cable to plug back into your Astro Mix Amp. But unfortunately, yes, that's another expense that you have to spend your money on, and it's like $40, so that's quite unfortunate. $40 on top of the Mix Amp that you already have, and if you wanted to buy headphones with that, yeah, it could be quite a lot of money, yeah. Well, I think that covers everything about the Mix Amp. I really do recommend it, especially as a solution to all the problems that Sony has brought upon us. So if you're looking at like the best way to go about streaming without having to run into all the hassle of not getting dual audio output, I would say the best option and probably my most recommended option is to just go with the Astro Mix Amp. Now, if you're a beginner streamer and you don't want to spend the money, and I highly recommend, if you're a beginner streamer, do not spend the money on all this stuff. I recommend just streaming directly from your console. That way you get used to it and you get used to talking to people on chat and playing your game at the same time. And then once you want to progress, then that's when you can go about buying a Astro Mix Amp. Now, before I sum up all of this, I just want to say, for those of you looking to get wireless headphones, yeah, I'm sorry, man. It's most likely not gonna work. Now, you could use wireless headphones if you're trying to stream directly on the PS5. That could be a solution, especially if you're just a beginner. But if you're trying to go to later tiers and buying an Astro Mix Amp, sorry guys, you cannot plug in a wireless receiver into the Astro Mix Amp. Now, there is one exception to this, and that is, I don't know the exact model, but I know SteelSeries has a model where it's a, instead of a USB receiver, it's more a like whole like unit, and that whole unit you could actually plug into the Astro Mix Amp. That way you could utilize a wireless headphone while at the same time, you know, you could hear what's going on and your stream can hear what's going on. So guys, that's gonna sum up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know in the comment section below, if you're a streamer, what type of setup you use, because I would love to know what other people use, and if other people use the Astro Mix Amp method, or if other people use, I don't know, like plugging it into the monitor, or they just stream directly from the console. I would love to hear in the comment section down below, so make sure you go ahead and write down there. If you enjoyed today's video and you want to see more, make sure you subscribe to the channel and you turn on those notifications so you don't miss a video. And I also stream on Twitch, guys, so if you are wondering, like, you know, how does this work, or, you know, I have a question about my monitor, or a question about this controller or the PS5, whatever it may be, head on over to my Twitch channel. I stream every Wednesday, so if you're wondering or if you have any questions whatsoever, you can just head on over there and ask away and enjoy some sweet gameplay while you're at it. But anyways, guys, my name is Matthew. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, peace out.